quick, plug in, very important. I'm gonna talk to you a little bit, just some of the things I'm seeing with some of you, a little bit more on some of the younger ones, okay? Some of the younger ones, especially on the serve, because it depends. Had a lot of people this weekend, younger kids, okay, a lot of issues, okay? I can't talk about the whole enchilada like you're seeing at Indian Wells, where you're gonna put 70% of the weight on the back foot, so on and so forth. But we talked about this before, and this is very important. When you take the racket back, watch. The strings are always gonna be down. The strings are always down. Pay attention. Sometimes some of you guys are hearing me, but you're not listening. I can tell who's listening, okay? Who's writing it down. Okay, watch. When you take the racket back, the string should be down. Now, here's what I'm seeing with a handful of you guys. When, this is called the edge of the racket. When you serve, okay, this edge should go in this way. Look at the racket. You should be looking. The edge of the racket. Doesn't matter who. You'll see everybody. However they get there, forget that. It's not about that today. The edge of the racket will come in this way. Some of you guys are going that way. That's what we call external rotation of the forearm. The coach at home, wherever, might say pancake, frying pan, waiter, pizza. Now you guys are hungry. Okay, the edge goes in. Now, if this is wrong, you can't learn to serve. Okay. Also, you got to have a continental grip or an eastern backhand. Pay attention. If you have the wrong grip, 3 people this weekend, they had the wrong grip. They've been taking lessons for 2 years. You don't need me to tell you how to hold the racket on the serve. If the grip is wrong, a lot of these things won't, what I call domino. They won't cascade into the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. So, right grip, look, edge in, the edge goes down. Look where that racket is. Look at that. Look where that racket is. Okay, the edge goes in, the edge down, then it's gonna flare out. Watch this. Okay, look at this. Now, the edge of the racket goes up. Look at this racket. Look where my thumb is. Where's it facing? That way. Now watch this. Bang. Now look where the thumb is.
Down.
Bang. And then you see that. But this happens so fast on television, you can't even see it. It's like, whoa. Okay? So, when you do this, okay, when we get to this position, okay, you want to focus, okay, on the edge. The thumb is this way, the thumb goes that way. You can break it down just like this and practice this exercise. There's a guy back in the day, Boris Becker. The guy used to serve like this. He used to go bang. Sampras did this. Bang. Most people do this, especially kids. They don't even turn. This is called pronation at the end, this part of the arm. They go like this, like that. And you actually want to go bang all the way to there. The thumb is backwards. Backwards. This is one of the biggest mistakes. The final thing, the number one thing. Someone asked me the other day, Sunday on a podcast, the number one thing, I mentioned it today with Alyssa, and probably with Mad Hatter, okay? You gotta stay sideways longer on your serve. It's the number one culprit around the world, okay? Obviously the coach is telling you keep your left arm up, that's gonna help. And when you come into this, you gotta keep this in. You gotta keep this in. People open up too soon. That's why a lot of you serve better to the forehand than the backhand. You have like an accidental good serve to the forehand, okay? And you're over rotating. When this opens too quickly, which is the number one mistake, listen, number one is like number one, okay? Then what happens is you come this way too soon, you not only lose power, you accidentally hit the ball to the forehand. It's the number one problem. You got to keep this in longer. Look, what happens is you see this, people open up. And if you watch anybody throw a ball, baseball, football, any type of throwing action, watch, bang, look at my left side. I'm not like this. Look at my left, look at my left. Watch it. See, it's coming down and it what we call tucks, and then it releases. It stops the shoulder from over-rotating. I know that's a lot to digest, but I need all you guys. The best way to learn serve, break it down microscopically, step by step by step by step. There's people this weekend, they're coming out there trying to jump and scream and yell and spit, and they're trying to do all these things on their serve, and it's like, whoa, and they're 7, 8 years old. Ain't gonna happen. You build a house brick by brick. To try to do this, first off, some of you guys are gonna have a hard time even tossing the ball in the neighborhood. By the way, that should be 12:45, 1 o'clock, 1:15 if you're a righty. So if the toss is like, in Canada, they're not gonna matter. But I'm hoping the toss is gonna be there someday. But you gotta understand, to try to do all this stuff, not good. You should be practicing just what I said. You should go there, edge, 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 edge. The problem is people don't have discipline. Self-discipline is the #1 thing if you want to be good at anything. And you got to do it step by step. But if you're out there going like this, I'm going to serve the ball like Alcaraz, and you're doing all this, you're doing everything wrong. Do it step by step. Once you own it, then you add a piece, and you add a piece. The problem is people don't want to have the dedication to do this all the time and to do it without the ball. If you want to be great at anything, you got to master. Who said that? Be sure. You got to master. Why don't you do it? You got all the answers. It's like Jeopardy. You always get the answer, but you don't apply it. Okay, you got to master boring. Does that make sense? No? Okay. 1, 2, 3. Bang! I'll see you guys later.